Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, The Shadow and the Blade, where we are finally about to set foot on the dark and horrible continent of Lustria. If you have not watched my previous series, perhaps you are unaware. I hate the Lustrian jungle so very, very much. So many campaigns have gone there to die, but we are compelled. So let's just try to get this over with quickly, shall we? I guess we could get on land over here by the Awakening. My concern about that is that I don't know where the Vampire Clan agents are. Now, looks like this isn't much better. It's just hostile guys everywhere. In fact, there's a skink chief right there. That could be a problem. Well, too late. We made landfall now. Good luck, little dude. Is there anything we can do for him? Not really, because even if we had something we could equip on him, it takes a turn for things to get attached. Suppose we ought to throw stuff on him, though. We'll give him that Eshin Apprentice. The Bell Polisher should probably go on somebody who's less likely to get murdered. Let's jump over to Icket Claw here. You can take this Bell Polisher. So yeah, we're apparently going to have no problem at all with with capacity for those heroes as soon as we get the ability to actually make them. Alright, so we got to figure out a plan here. We might, like I was saying, go after the elves next. That would pretty much require that the orcs play nice. And we could get right up close to the mountain range and try to underway past it. I suppose that's a potential a way of getting up there. I'd really like it if we could secure military access with these guys, though, because that would add another great big treaties with broken nose modifier. Make it very unlikely they would ever attack us. We do have the Border Princes to worry about. I really don't have any interest in taking over the Border Princes' lands, but maybe this would be a good opportunity to go over here and use our army to plant a couple of undercities and just not bother managing this stuff ourselves. Honestly, maybe that's what we should do. Let's go plant some undercities by force. We are 4 turns away from getting another Doom Engineer, which could allow us to plant some undercities elsewhere too. We're just gonna dot the map with those a little bit because we actually could really use all that money. So the best way to get to Myrmidons is to go through here. This is broken nose territory, and they won't like that. Where's the border? Wait, actually, where is the border? Because we're definitely in our territory right here. Apparently it's... okay, apparently it's not visible in the fog of war. Well... crossing the border without their permission will damage our diplomatic relations pretty badly. We could instead, I suppose, get in the water. Okay, we can take the south route. It turns out this road is owned by Myrmidons. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that. I'm not too worried about anybody else attacking us from the north or anything in the meantime. And if we don't do something to distract the Border Princes, there's a real good chance that they're going to just end up killing our allied beastmen. So, Banning probably wants to push north and drop an undercity under Brionne or something. I mean, a straight declaration of war on Carcassonne is not the place I want to be in. I don't want to actually have to defend Bilbali. So maybe that's a bad idea. I just want to get... we need to get more money, right? And this is a good way of doing that. The other thing we could do, I suppose, is have him do the thing I was talking about earlier. Have him push up against the mountain range, then tunnel under it, and start harassing the elves. I really don't want to harass... I don't want to go up against the elves with anything other than our most elite force, though, because elves are scary. The elves are a legitimately dangerous force. I suppose the other thing he could do is enable me to turn taxation back on in Skavenblight by sitting in Skavenblight for a while. Yeah, I think that's maybe what we're actually going to do with him. We need somebody to come over here and control the public order. In fact, actually, probably what we'll do is we'll have him sit just outside of Skavenblight, let a rebellion spawn, kill them, and make food out of them. And that's how we'll control our public order. Okay, I think that's a plan. I don't know if it's the best plan, but it's certainly a plan. We're being tracked by this guy from the Cult of Sotek, who may very well attempt to assassinate me. Maybe he'll be too busy with all the vampires. I think we're still like a couple of turns of walking from the location where we need to get to for the quest. If our agent were to get assassinated now, it would really suck. Okay. Malagor the Dark has managed to put away an army led by Gotrek, which is kind of a big deal, I think. That guy's a special lord. Between these beastmen and me, we can maybe make something happen over here in the Border Princes. I'm a little worried that I might go to all the trouble of establishing an undercity, and then the beastmen might just burn down the city above it, which would certainly make it less effective. Storm clouds gather in the north. There are rumors that the barbarous tribes residing in the shadow of chaos have ceased striving against each other for the attention of the dark gods, and are instead banding together. Suckling at the teat of chaos, which has gotta just be one of the grossest teats. The hordes grow in strength. It seems only a matter of time before the dam breaks and a tide of ruin bursts forth to engulf the old world, corrupting or destroying all in its path. This is not my problem. Up in the north, like way in the north, like way over up hereabouts, there's some bad stuff happening, and that bad stuff is going to roll south, and all of the people right here are in some trouble, and that is just, I don't care even a tiny little bit about that. Alright, so we're going to move real fast here. Yeah, let's pick up Dance of Death on you now. Banning is pretty much exactly where he needs to be. Just chill out here. I don't even really want him in Skavenblight because I don't want him providing public order, even just by being in the province. He'll just sit nearby and wait. We could use the food. I suppose we could put him in recruit mode. We can move him to Tabaro, have him sit in Tabaro, and he could start recruiting his, okay, I thought we didn't have any. He can start recruiting some of these units that are good in his army. We do also have access to Warpfire Throwers and Plague Claw Catapults. We should get some catapults for Ikit Claw's army, at the very least. But let's see, we can't get the poison guys without a pestilent knave to brew the poisons. But we can pick up a couple units of gutter runners. So the difference between normal gutter runners and slingers is normal gutter runners have slightly more missile damage, while the slingers have slightly less, but double the attack range and also double the ammo. Feels like this is what we want to do. His army already has melee guys. Let's pick up some more range that will benefit from his unique skills. Oh, actually, we're not that far at all from it. Far enough that we don't make it in a single turn, I think, but... Yep, that's the border. We need to get into this province. So as long as we don't get assassinated this turn, which I think we have pretty good odds on, we should be fine. Recruit rank up for Night Runners and Gutter Runners. That's 7 turns for honestly not that great of a bonus, but we can't get to oppressive plans without following that path. Virulent plans will give us an extra food every turn, access to eyes everywhere, and it will lead us toward Plague Monk buffs, which honestly I'm not 100% sure we need. Let's maybe take scavenging runs here. Yeah, we don't really need any of this stuff either, but like scavenging runs and strength in numbers are both strong skills. Or techs. We'll get those, and then we'll figure out more stuff later. We're actually slightly positive on food for the moment. This is because we have that. Oh, actually, did our right end? Yeah, I think our dominating scheme ended. I think we might actually just be positive on food. Well, that's nice. I don't know, our dominating scheme is still running, so we'll be slightly negative on food when that ends. Probably this turn? It's pretty soon, right? but we'll only be slightly negative on food. We won't be bleeding like 6 per turn. We will be in a place where it is at least possible for us to catch up. The lizards are following me around, but they do not have much interest in fighting us, apparently, which is fine by me. There are a couple of reasons that they might be unwilling to assassinate our guy. First of all, they might fear the diplomatic damage. It doesn't seem super likely, but it could be the case. The other thing is they might literally just not have the money to pay their assassin to do the job. We're being raided by dwarves. Well, that's probably going to have my army turning around. Financial situation is rough enough without additional raiding. Okay, some Lizardman faction has done something I don't care about.
Exosuit ready.
My guess is we're being raided very close to the northern border of the province. Let's get up there and deal with it. So while we're being raided, they're stealing some of our money every turn, and also there's a considerable public order penalty. Obviously, it's not something we can allow to just continue. Alright, we did it. Then we gotta move to a different region. After hours of brutal torture involving several different nightmarish devices designed to deliver the truth in between bouts of screaming agony, Icket is just getting into his stride when a location is finally revealed by the unfortunate captive. Turning to his assistants, he draws his claw across his own throat in silent instruction. Immediately, they move in to relieve the dying lizardman of what little remains of his miserable life. There's no time to waste. Icket must send a spy to confirm that the spawning pools are indeed where they are supposed to be. Okay, so just keep running a guy around in this jungle. Fine. I'm a little bummed out about that. I sure would have liked to have been done over here. We'll get on the road. It is unfortunately real slow moving around in the jungle, but we can get on the road, and hopefully that'll be fast enough.
Storm demon.
Alright, so next turn you're done with that. Yeah, unfortunately there's just not like a ton to do right now. Still waiting 3 turns until Skaven Blight can be upgraded. Magritta has the population to be upgraded right now, but it's not cheap. I think upgrading Skaven Blight is probably a higher priority. So we want to make sure that we get to tier 5 there as quickly as possible because of the powerful landmark buildings. I wonder if the Pirates of Sartosa are ever going to actually do anything. Golden Order would like to pay me 200 gold for peace. Honestly, yeah, I'm fine with that. I might have accepted peace for free from them. We have maybe like too many enemies at the moment. Are they going to ask me to go to war with... Okay, Midland again. I was going to say, are they going to ask me to go back to war with the Golden Order, maybe? Malagor's running around doing Lord knows what. He is messing with our territory just by being present in it a little bit. Like the Beastmen create chaos corruption by their very nature. So we might have to give him a distant target, give him a mission to go on. Banning's loyalty is fine. We will not pay to improve his loyalty.
War power.
And obviously something's got to be done here. So if I switch back to normal movement, alright, we're pretty far away from being able to make it. We could probably sail to Lucini, though. Yeah, we can, if we put you in full speed, we can sail you to Lucini. We don't know exactly what is in this army, but it's not very impressive, whatever it is, and we probably do have to prioritize this, unfortunately. Does this upgrade again? It does, and it generates another 1 point of food, so Maragliano to tier 3 does have some serious benefit. We have 2 turns until we can start upgrading this. I think we gotta prioritize that. We also apparently have to prioritize getting back to Skaven Blight. So I think the way we want to do this is creeping up into the swamp a little bit, but stopping in a place where we still have the ability to go into ambush mode. I want them to feel like it's safe for them to press the walls of Skavenblight. They won't be able to attack right away because they'll have to... Oh, actually, they brought siege gear with them. They will be able to attack right away. Still, they might not. The AI often won't. So what do they have? They have some very basic Dwarf Warriors, although they're high-ranking Dwarf Warriors. Dwarf Warriors are tremendously better than the melee troops that we've been fighting so far. We would have a really hard time beating these guys in melee, but we do have our weapons teams. They have Thunderers, which are gun infantry. Thunderers are a problem, for sure. They're better at melee combat than human ranged units, so we can't just like throw clan rats at them. And our army is still pretty basic, honestly.
Talk at me in your crude language.
No way we could get peace from them. Yeah, we're a little overcommitted here. We have too many enemies who are too eager to fight. Skavenblight has a 16-unit garrison, including catapult, 2 poison wind globadiers, and its own warlock engineer. They probably won't be able to just roll in and attack it successfully, I think. And the place we're going for our quest is, yeah, up here about. Here's hoping they keep being unable to afford interference. Actually, maybe we should have gone west. Because north is going to have me in the trees. Yeah, that road to the west is probably better. Alright, we'll turn around and head back that way. We're not going to upgrade this stuff because we're saving for Skavenblight. We probably don't want to bother with the 13th scheme. I think we're just going to pass the turn here, but I'm definitely worried about all these dwarves. Think how successful this attack would have been if they had just restrained themselves a little bit and not raided me for no reason. Because I wouldn't have known they were coming until this turn. Our army would have been even more out of position. Alright, we need to issue some war coordination targets, maybe. Turns out we need the beastmen to help keep the dwarves at bay. Oh, interesting. We get to fight a combined forces battle, where my army serves as reinforcements to Malagor the Dark Omen. Let's do this. You don't get to see combined army battles of this type very often. I'm not sure how much there is for us to do manually. I chose not to bring in any charges of the Menace below, because I don't think we'll need them. But to some extent, this is going to depend on what Malagor does. Malagor the Dark Omen is himself a pretty powerful character, but he has a lot of real garbage units in his army. Probably do better than 9. Nope, we cannot in fact do better than 9. Okay, so Malagor is going to start in like this, and I'm going to show up from exactly literally the worst place that I could spawn, is up in this corner. It's going to take us forever to get there, and we're not even approaching from the weak side. These guys do not know how to stage an ambush. Well, there's nothing we can do for right now. They do have harpies, so a flying unit is certainly helpful in a case like this, although they're using it terribly. The harpies should absolutely be attacking the ranged units. We're just going to order people forward. That said, they do have enough bodies that they're able to get in on these dudes over here, which is, I mean, it's something. And the basic Beastmen melee unit is a little bit better than mine. Like, a straight-up confrontation like this does not have them as disadvantaged as it would have us. Telling people to just run the very moment they get into the battle. I forgot we had a Doom Rocket prepped. That's going to be very important against those dwarves. We certainly cannot afford to use it here. Malagor himself is flanking around. I didn't realize you can see the orders that your allied armies have entered. That's helpful. good to know what his plan is.
Yes!
You guys almost to the battle? Well, no, not really, but we're almost to the battle. By the time we get here, it looks like the beastmen down by the archers are going to be in pretty poor shape.
Mission triad!
And that's got to be a priority for us, right?
Ordered.
I'm going to have the triads just, like, sprint over there.
Leads move, Scarlet. Time! Master assassin!
Banning himself can do the same. And you guys are just some clan rats, but you're here early, so you got to do this thing. Alright, our warlock can use his overcasted warp lightning to do some damage in here. And figure out where exactly are... Okay, this is all bad, guys. Okay, that was pretty effective. They're probably pretty happy we showed up. So I'm gonna have these clan rat spears just run directly for the far archers. Warlock engineer, just stay close. You know what? Yeah, you guys can reinforce here. That's fine.
Move! Very good, Master!
Alright, the Night Runners, we want to put the Night Runners near the enemy units in sort of a flanking position. We want to have lots of weak projectiles going into the enemy flanks because that's a big morale reducer. I'm gonna have Banning switch into... Where is he? Yeah. Have Banning switch into melee mode and run over here probably. We can hack up some archers real fast.
Assassin does! Sneak! Run now!
Looks to me like the melee units are going to be mostly under control. The beastmen seem to have figured that part out.
At once, Master! Mission triads!
That unit of Eshin Triads is actually really powerful. They seem to be... they're better than our existing melee units by such a large margin.
Master assassin!
Banning, get in here. The goal of our units is mostly just to break up these dudes. This is a task the beastmen themselves are actually pretty well suited to. Beastmen units are about as fast as we are, but they're being commanded in a profoundly stupid way. So we're just going to help them out with that. Alright, looks like this should be about the end of this. And that means that the beastmen have saved me some trouble. They might even be able to just push the border princes and keep the border princes busy for a while. I think we managed to get out of that with basically no losses of our own. Yeah, everything that died was beastmen. A little bit of free XP. It was really nice of them to show up and help like that. And in theory, their army should have, I would imagine, should have little problem pursuing this border prince army after the retreat here. So probably our southern border is safe. Like I keep saying, it's nice to have friends, even if so far our friends have seemed to be largely incompetent. You know, they're doing something for us. Let's see, this would be an immediate return to full health, but honestly, I'd rather have the food.
Optics enhanced.
Oh, never mind, there was no fallback. Had those guys marched? Yeah, maybe they had marched. Trait gain, crow. Oh, interesting. Okay, there's a bug there. Well, it turns out that Khazadni Hammerfist thought he could travel through our underway tunnels. Listen, the dwarves would tell you that the underway tunnels belong to the dwarves just because they originally constructed them and maintained them for hundreds of years. But, in my opinion, might makes right on this particular subject. So, I think we're probably just going to auto-resolve this first dwarf battle. That would be a real easy one to fight, and frankly, I think we're going to have plenty of dwarf fighting in our near future. You can see these dwarves actually ran over and attacked Skaven Blight. I think the other dwarves must have been splitting off to go to Miragliano or something, in order for us to intercept them, I mean. They must have been moving in a different direction.
But not pesticides.
They did see us, but it was too late by the time they had. And this is a very, very easy win for us. Okay, wow, we really got a lot of followers and garbage that turn. So nothing that you can equip, though. Yes, we could give you a corrosive blade. This is a pretty bad weapon. Plus 7 damage. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. He doesn't engage in melee combat very often. But I want to talk about the thing that happened over here, because this is something I've never seen before. I did not realize that this bug existed. And it's been cleared from our message log already, because it happened before our turn. Banning gained the trait Crow Reaver. Every legendary lord gives you a unique trait when you defeat them in battle. Obviously, we... excuse me. We did not, in fact, defeat Malagor the Dark Omen, but apparently you just get the traits if you win a battle in which the legendary lord is involved. I've never seen that before. It probably doesn't come up often enough for them to have realized that the bug even exists. That's cool. It's not a very good trait, sadly, but it's cool to have gotten it for free. Alright, so I think stab in the back looks pretty good for him. Although, maybe, you know what, we'll take this in a little bit. We don't have enough of those units yet, I think, to justify that choice. And our Warlock Engineer is coming along. I think I would rather have Triangulation in terms of damage output increase than Arms Dealer. We are not yet fighting battles where our units are running out of ammunition. Also, oh, the other assassin, the distant assassin, should probably pick up Gutter Fighter? Yeah, melee attack is good. Oh no, Faderife's the one that's in this army. Where's the... Okay, this guy's name is Morphage. I am terrible with names. Alright, you go that way. So the Lizardman agent ran away. There's still some vampire agents around here, but they don't have... I don't think they're as likely to mess with us. Part of the problem with the Lizardman agent is that Lizardmen hate Skaven very, very much. So these guys are sieging my city. We do have the option of having the garrison of Skaven Plate just ride out to attack them. That's not the button I wanted. Here we go. We might be able to take them. So they have a catapult of their own, and I think the dwarf catapults are pretty strong. They don't have the plague ammunition that Skaven catapults have, but they're very accurate. They're pretty dangerous. The bolt throwers are giant ballistas, and they also have cannons, so they have a pretty small number of actual foot units. I don't know. I don't think we have a strong reason to go after them here. And let's wait until Ikit Claw arrives. So unfortunately, it is hard to move through the swamp. I'm debating, yeah, like moving to here and going into ambush mode again. My concern here is that we still might not be able to reach those dudes next turn, but... Oh, that's interesting. When I was mousing over this location, it said it would leave me with 29 movement, but instead it has left me with 23. So not enough to ambush. Well, whatever. I guess get closer then. I'm not going to march. I don't want to be tired if he decides to turn around and attack us. But I do think we would win if he decided to turn around and attack us. So next turn we'll be able to build the Skaven Blade upgrade, provided that we get these guys out of siege mode, which I think we should be able to. Will that still be true if we... Yeah, we could Scheme of Doom. Your faction's capital is unavailable, but it didn't gray out the button. What happens if I press this right now? Okay, I still get the guy. Maybe. Hold on, it played the animation. But no, it sure didn't give us... Huh. Really? Is that really the outcome? It takes the money, and it puts the thing on cooldown, but it doesn't give you a unit? Well, that's a bug. That's very obviously a bug. If the thing is unperformable, the button's supposed to gray out, like you could see with all of the other rights that have the button grayed out. I mean, it's not the end of the world. But that's definitely something they ought to fix. Break our military alliance with these dudes. You are a little bummed out about our alliance with the Beastmen. But no, I don't think I'll be doing that. I'm seeing a number of bugs here, actually. Erin's Assault Spite had a little red down arrow next to her opinion of us, despite the fact that her opinion of us, according to the tooltip, was trending upward, actually. I wonder if she's intending to backstab me or something? The game's accidentally filling me in on information I'm not supposed to have. Because there's not a lot of reasons for her to have an army in the location she has that army in. That said, I don't think she would win that battle if she were to turn on us and attack right now, because Banning's full force is right there. So what does she have? She has some Sartosan militia, which are just like dudes with pistols. Deck droppers with handguns. These are zombies who carry rifles being flown by giant bats. It's definitely a pretty cool unit. Not actually very dangerous to us, though, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what she's doing.
My technocracy.
It looks like we might be able to just barely catch these dudes. Yep, and... for some reason we do not get the garrison reinforcements. I thought we were quite close to the city. Well, we can just auto-resolve this. This is a nice, easy battle, too. These dwarves really half-assed this attack. Alright, we received a mission to defeat this guy. We completed it. It gave us a small leadership bonus that won't matter at all. It did, however, level us up and unlock some Death Globe mortars, so I think we just found our first siege weapon. And some Plague Monk sensor bearers. And a bunch of garbage loot, because dwarves have so much loot, but so much of it is also garbage. Alright, we gotta get some proper ranged weapons in here. So I think that's gonna be our next big move. Do we want to pursue our normal yellow line, or do we want to finish off our spells? We're probably not going to use Death Frenzy very much. Howling Warp Gale is borderline useless. We could finish leveling Flensing Ruin to make it a little bit more affordable, because it is very expensive. Thing is, I don't know that I'm going to use it necessarily. Trixie and Sneaky are both just a little bit of extra health, so I think actually where we may be here is that it might be time to open up a new line. We could take the melee combat tree, I suppose. It's not necessary, but also it's not terrible. We also could just like start down the blue line toward Draft Master and Quartermaster, which is a big deal. And of course, Renowned and Feared eventually. Or we could start going down the red line like our other lord is doing. I'm actually pretty torn here. You know what? Let's keep powering up Ikit Claw. We can use him to fight a little bit more than we are currently using him to fight. Additional replenishment for the troops seems good. And Ikit Claw's presence is ruining my brilliant plan, so we're gonna step him out of the settlement, or out of the region. Oh, are we still getting... Yep, we're still getting public order from characters and stuff here. Can't make it any further out than that? That's a shame. I really want to provoke a rebellion in Skaven Blight. Okay, this is not quite the right region, but it is on the road to the right region, so we want to go north from here. Yeah, we want that road right there. And it looks like we are unpursued. Shouldn't be too hard to get there. Let's just continue picking up the basic buffs for clan rats, because the clan rats are going to be the core of our army for some time. We have access to better units now, but we can't necessarily actually afford to run them all the time. That seems like a thing we ought to do. I'm not going to move Banning because I'm a little worried about what these pirates think they're doing, so we're going to stay right here and just be ready. I might have him grab some more... you know, we don't even really have the money to recruit the things I want to recruit. Yeah, we'll wait on that. How are you guys feeling about me? Up to 28? Any chance? Nope. No chance we could get that military alliance. And the Pirates of Sartosa are, yeah, still trending upward. I mean, we might be able to get... Maybe we could get a thing from these guys, a non-aggression pact, and start building up some opinion with them. Okay, I like that. So we're trending toward a positive number. It would be cool to feel like we don't have to worry about pirates. We have enough coastal territory that I am, like, a little concerned about it. Alright, so our next priority is this. 4,300 gold. We're actually up to yellow food surplus. We're a yellow food supply, which means we're no longer suffering tons of penalties everywhere. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we might actually be able to get to bonuses from our food supply. Oh, do we not have a non-aggression pact? I guess we don't. You know, I would love to have a non-aggression pact with you temporarily. Last thing we need is them turning on me the moment I march away to mess with the border princes or something. Alright, Carcassonne is sailing a pretty big fleet over in our direction. So we have a bit of a tricky choice to make here. Because of the fact that the rebellion didn't spawn, public order is still really bad in Skavenblight. We can move away to have Ikiclaw defend against that Bretonnian navy, which is very likely coming to get us. If we do that, then the moment we walk out of Skavenblight, all of a sudden public order is going to go to hell, and we're probably going to end up with a rebellion. I think it's still the right thing to do. We can just turn off taxation here for a while. Like, we may actually be in a place where public order in Skavenblight is properly under control. Yeah, we'll turn off taxation for a moment. That's not, like, awesome, but don't have a lot of options. Alright, so this is the line, right? Yep, once we pass that border. So next turn, we have a pretty easy move on the next step of the faction quest, the next step of our legendary item quest. I feel relatively confident that Araness Assault Spite is not going to attack us now. So maybe we want to push out and see if we can find a whole... Like, Myrmidon still only has 8 units in its garrison. I think let's press these guys a little bit. Unfortunately, getting on the other side of this border is going to put us... We're already slightly below rating level, so we can't just steal money from them this turn. But we can move in here and, like, stop there, sit on the road in ambush mode, and see if they send any more armies forward. And if they don't, we could either just sit here and raid, or we could send Banning to install an Undercity under Myrmidons. It's not super valuable, but we could use every little bit we can get. Speaking of, every little bit we can get. Doom Rocket time? Yes, we totally have enough stuff for another Doom Rocket. Oh, and we got lucky. We hit our chance. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about that. How are we doing on this upgrade? We have to get to rank 15 with a Warlock Master, which means we need to start a third army, or we need to replace Banning. But honestly, I like Banning. He's doing a fine job. So basically, it's just going to be a little while before we're ready to upgrade that. Lots of elves out here on the sea. Hopefully that's not a problem I'm going to have to deal with. It will probably not shock you to hear that, broadly speaking, elves don't care for us. So if they are sailing over here to get in fights, they are probably sailing over here to get in fights with us. Beastmen have been slain by the pirates. Turns out we're only allowed to have one friend at a time. And the Bretonnians are absolutely going to declare war on me next turn, right? See, they were smart enough to at least move their army into position before the declaration. Caught an army out on the road in march mode. Well, this should be a good amount of money, provided that this is a fight we can actually win. Oh, I forgot to, I haven't recruited all of our regiments of renown. We might have Banning try to fall back, grab 2 regiments of renown, and then push forward. Let me see, what do we know about the composition of this army at the moment? Not a ton. Banning's army does not have the ranged units that I would like for countering a this number of crossbows, but we can fall back to our own territory and grab a plague mortar, which is certainly going to help. A death globe mortar. This is a new unit, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've ever seen death globe mortars. They are specifically anti-infantry. It looks like they don't have a lot of special traits or anything. They just do a lot of damage. They do only have 14 rounds. But it feels like that's going to be enough, right? Plus the doom rockets, which I am not afraid to use. Alright, because Bilbali has walls, my guess is they will not attack it until they've built up some siege towers and stuff, so we can afford to creep forward in ambush mode here, let them declare, press up against the walls of Bilbali, and then crush them between all 36 of our units. I think we should be in pretty good shape here. And you are going to accelerate my legendary item quest, which is going to pay us a little bit of gold. Having confirmed the spawning pool's location, Ikit Claw moves in for the kill by bringing his multifarious capabilities to bear. Always looking for new ways to bring about the destruction of his enemies, he plans to use a new device to blast the Chaos Moon, so fragments rain down and corrupt not just the spawning pools themselves, but also the entire surrounding area. If successful, this scheme will deliver the added bonus of supplying Ikit with almost endless deposits of warpstone, to fuel further experiments back at his forbidden workshop. Oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this when we were talking about warpstone earlier. It comes from space. To better achieve his goal, Ikit now decides to construct a warpstone beam to blast chunks from the Chaos Moon and guide them directly to their target. We have already built the warpstone tractor beam, so we just have to wait for that to fire. And that event should go off at the beginning of the next turn, or there's a couple of different things that can trigger movement of a quest like this. Moving an army or an agent on the world map is another thing that causes the check to happen. Alright, no plan survives contact with an enemy, not even one formulated by the great Ikit Claw, and certainly not when faced with such an advanced foe as the perfidious Lizardmen. Irritatingly, the ever-watchful Slan Astromancers must have spotted the blasted warpstone closing in, for they are fully battle-ready, and a Skaven scouting party reports that additional reinforcements are already on their way. Collecting some of the pure fallen warpstone from the field, Ikit repairs his deadly warp lightning thrower, Storm Demon, and steels himself for the fray. There's nothing else for it. He must hold his ground and make use of the chaos caused by the storm to gain advantage on the battlefield. So we will get this fancy warp lightning cannon, if only we can win this battle. So the battle takes place right here. We could trigger the battle by moving an army to this location. Obviously that sucks. Also, you can teleport to quest battles. So we can just teleport up to this fight. It's some skinks, which are not very dangerous units. The red-crested skinks are considerably better at killing things than clan rats, but they're not actually that much tougher than clan rats. So as long as we can control where they get to fight, we shouldn't have a problem with that. On the other hand, these salamanders are actually pretty terrifying. They're like living close-range artillery. They like belch fire. And they also have an ancient salamander, which is like much better at that thing. We should be able to handle this soon, but I don't want to do the battle right now because I want to make sure that that Ikit Claw is in good position to take this army out. So we'll burn down these Bretonnians next turn, then we'll prep for that battle. Hopefully we'll make enough money in doing so that he'll be able to recruit some catapults. That's what I would really like to have before we step in there. We're getting close to the point where we don't have any garbage Skaven slave units in the army, that's a big day for us. I forgot to have Banning move forward and attack the border princes. Well, that's not ideal. I got distracted by other things going on. I wanted to see if we could put together the money to hire the other Regiment of Renown, which we totally did. I'm still a little worried about her. Maybe we can talk her into war with the border princes. She could sail over here and attack Myrmidons for us. The Bretonnians did not declare formal war on me. They're just in my territory raiding. Okay, well, I'm gonna fall back.
Retreat! Hide!
They can chase us if they want. Interesting that the auto-resolve result was so, or that the balance of power bar was so tilted in their favor, because I feel like that battle was at least going to be close, if not a victory for us. I mean, I feel like that battle is probably a victory for us. Alright, speaking of, probably a victory for us. You fools. What on earth did you think you were doing? So we're going to make sure that we approach them from the appropriate angle here, because they're going to fall back when we attack them, and I want to make sure they're falling back this way and trapped rather than falling back. Like, if we hit them from here, there's a chance that the game would have them retreat, like, around the horn here. A retreating army moves a certain distance in a direction as the crow flies, and they get to just cross whatever terrain they want on the way there. It's important we angle this correctly. Yes, declare war. You are not allowed to be in my territory. Obviously, a totally trivial. These guys are not as good at fighting as some of the enemies that we have been facing so far. This is a totally trivial battle. So that's a bunch of food and gold for us. And I think we are going to have to come over here and do some work. I'm not sure if I want to own this land. We are now at war with the Bretonnians, which was the thing that was making me think we didn't want to, like, declare on them and start conquering before. So since that's already happening, you know, it may well be the case that that we're all the way in already. We may as well just finish the job. I think melee attack and weapon strength up first. He's actually already pretty formidable in melee combat. You can grab more melee attack. I guess I was gonna recruit plague catapults. Well, whatever. We can do it next turn. All right, we're still holding off on spending money while we're a little negative here. You grab more triangulation. Nope, sorry. The next point of increased mobility is unlocked. Let me get the final one at level 10. Okay, that's pretty important.
In shadow. Started forth, Rat King. Moving paw, feet.
Well, I'm just gonna raid, I guess. Those guys ran away. So we're just gonna raid and produce some food and stuff, and if they want to come back and attack me, I'll just retreat again, and then they'll be unable to chase us again. It should be fine. Actually, on surplus food supplies, which is a weird place to be given how the rest of the game has gone so far. And you don't actually have a role anymore. I think probably, rather than having him running around over here, we should just disband him for the moment, and he will reappear in our lands in a few turns. Probably don't want to spend any more money at the moment. Yeah, this whole thing has been weird. A lot of weird stuff going on. Slightly public order positive here for the moment. Kind of want to keep the growth going, but I'm wondering if maybe switching to the public order commandment for a little while here, just to get us away from negative 100, might be a smart idea. So we're not going to do that settlement upgrade. I'm assuming the Bretonnians do not have another large army nearby. Okay, we spent enough time in March mode that our army's getting a little bit better at it, which is really good news for us, because free campaign movement range. But that's right, we may not want to push them right away. We probably want to fall back and prep for the quest battle, because I want that legendary item. 2 public order in all provinces with a considerable damage boost and also another magical attack. Yeah, it's wild to me that this is so negative, but I'm gonna fall back. I'm just trying to keep them from doing anything useful. I'm hoping that Araness Assault Spite is going to... Ooh, hey, that is maybe even better. They're actually pursuing us. We might be able to get an ambush off. My guess is they're pursuing us because they intend to attack the settlement rather than attacking the army. So we might be able to make something very, very silly happen here. And we did build the first garrison building in Lucchini, right? Yeah, so it has a 13-unit garrison.
Scat onward.
Let's move to right here. I am going to go ahead and get the Plague Monk sensor bearers for this army. And then we're going to sit right here in ambush mode. I'm not. Oh, I'm within view of another faction's army because Aranessa Saltspite is in a really awkward position here. And in fact, there's no place I can sit, it looks like, that is... maybe up here?
Rat.
That's not far enough. I want to be within reinforcement range of the city, but not quite in her view. Yeah, that's a problem.
You speak, Aranessa listens.
I wonder if we could get an alliance moving with her. She asked us for an alliance at one point, and we're still trending northward pretty hard here. Hopefully we can get there with her. What about you guys? Do you guys feel like giving me another treaty? No, you do not. Friends is probably, too strong a word for the thing that we have. So if we were to swap into encampment mode, hold on a second here. How expensive are the catapults? It'd be 1646 to put one in the queue, and it would take 4 turns for it to actually recruit. That's probably not a thing we can do. So the menace below is not super good. Enemy siege holdout time is not a thing that matters all that often because you can rarely afford to just siege an enemy until they starve out. Things are happening way too fast, generally. So where are we going eventually? Ingenious plans will give us some more food. And, I mean, like, this is a good tech. So in order to get there, we'd have to pursue this line through volatile plans, which would require an arsenal. Yeah, alright, let's grab Take Everything. Take Everything is important for moving forward. Actually, it's the menace below that's important for moving forward, but we need Take Everything to get there. I don't think we have any other, like, immediate... I mean, actually, +1 public order is still significant. Let's grab that.
Deforestation needed here.
So, if we're not going to try to recruit catapults, we could recruit the catapults more cheaply here, I'm assuming, is where they're actually buildable. Yeah. If we moved back to Skaven Blight, I don't know that I feel super comfortable attempting that. One thing I suppose we could try
Science, sorcery.
is moving right here and then seeing if I'm allowed to underway all that distance. Yeah, let's try it.
Enemies to track.
So we'll move to right here. Oh.
I will not aid you in this.
The Fey Enchantress is a legendary lord. She's got a unit of Battle Pilgrims, which are a much better melee unit than some of the stuff we've seen, and they're high rank. And then she's got a lot of archers and some Grail Guardians and a Blessed Field Trebuchet, which is nice and high level. So she's got some stuff. These Peasant Bowmen are not super good. They're not even as good at either ranged or melee combat as the Empire Bowmen that we've been fighting, although high ranking will definitely do something for them. I might be slightly overcommitted here. I mean, we could just attack them. We could run across and attack them. We just barely have the movement range, and we might at least get our ambush off that way. I think that might be the thing we have to do here. We did not get an ambush. Well, I think that means that we need to spend some menace below. We come out of the green at... Okay, so we come out of the green if we spend anything at all. Well, I think we should probably do this.
Close in on death targets.
Now it's a power bar, doesn't like our odds here too much. I think it's overestimating them.
This arms race.
We have the three doom rockets, and I'm not afraid to spend them. This should be fine. We should be okay here. And then we're safe to... If we win this battle, we should be safe to end our turn next to the mountain, which should allow us to... may allow us to underway move back to Skaven Blight to pick up catapults much cheaper and much faster than we otherwise could, and then we can take those catapults over to fight the Lizardmen, which is what I really want to do. The Jezzails will be really good against the Salamanders, but it would be nice to also have catapults. So, do we have any indication of... Yes, we do in fact know the position and orientation of the field trebuchet. I think we can set up over here and make them roll toward us. So basically we're just like waiting out the cooldown on stuff. Am I only allowed to use one Doom Rocket per battle no matter how many we have? I guess that's what it looks like. That's probably not a huge problem. It does mean that we probably don't want to Doom Rocket the catapult crew, though. It's going to be a little tricky. So what is the actual range value on the catapult? 440 compared to a Jezzail's 200 something? Yeah, so we can't use the Jezzail to pick at enemy units from outside of catapult range. It's not an option that we actually have. If we were to put a Jezzail team right here, it wouldn't take too long for us to get a shot on those Grail Guardians, I guess. Yeah, I think the way we're going to have to do this, and I'm not super happy about it, is that we're going to have to engage them a little bit and endure some trebuchet fire to get their units to start moving forward so that we can later get guys under the trebuchet. And I'm going to spawn our assassin with his vanguard deployment way over here for exactly this purpose. You can have the Death Runners do that too, since they're all sneaky. And then we can put a couple of our best melee units in the trees, keep them stealthed that way, and put a bunch of our other melee units out here in the open. Or we'll just, we'll march up on the enemy right away. Because Ikit Claw is not on his vehicle, he can also hide in the trees. That would not be true if he had his Doom Wheel. And I think the Doom Flayer is gonna maybe try to flank all the way around them. Doom Flayer's got 72 speed. These horses have 70, so we don't have to worry about them catching us, unless I command in a way that is very bad, which I totally might. All right. Jezzails need to be grouped. The Rattling Guns need to be grouped. I'm going to group the Doom Flayers too, just so that I can select them very easily with a single button press. Jezzails, find the shot. Rattling Weapons teams over here. And all of the melee, all of the normal melee need to just kind of fan out in front of that position. We'll keep the stealthy guys stealthy, and I don't want to move these ones forward too much until these guys start moving away. So let's see what happens. I am going to hit unlimited power right now. Just get some more wind in the wind bar. Looks like those knights became invisible in the trees. That's weird. Usually horses can't do that. These guys are acting like they can totally see me, which they should not be able to. You can see the units still have the hidden indicator. So I'm not really sure what's happening here. I'm not sure at all what they're doing, honestly. They're definitely behaving like they know where my hidden units are, which is really annoying. They definitely shouldn't. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the first Clan Rat Summon right here. They have these Grail Knights, but we might be able to do enough damage to the catapult crews before the Knights can get involved. No, don't break immediately. They're just archers. You don't have to be afraid of the archers. Ooh, to be perfectly honest with you, it's a peasant mob, Spearmen at Arms. Part of me wants to just drop the first Doom Rocket immediately, but I want to try to hit their better units, like those Battle Pilgrims. And they still have basically full health, but they broke immediately because Clan Rat leadership. That's a shame. I think it was worth a shot. You guys gonna recover any leadership before you die? Well, it looks like we might be able to give them some commands. Once again, they're massing up in a way that's like... No, okay, the knights got kind of sort of near them and they broke again. Ah, well. So their siege gear has range on us. I don't really want to move forward and fight them in the trees. You know, I want them to come over here a little bit. I think we're going to have to move forward. I want to try to stay far enough away from that group of trees that their archers can't just stand at the edge of the trees and shoot at us. We're going to have to get a lot closer if we want to have the ability to shoot them. So I guess the jet sails are probably going to have to move up to like here, which means that the rattling gunners have to get even closer and maybe have to take up a different angle entirely because we don't have the height advantage to let the Jezlos fire over them. And I don't want to move my melee, right? Like, we can't move the melee to a position where the melee could be useful at all. Because if we do, they'll just get torn apart by archer fire from the trees. So I guess this is what it is. Weapon teams just move forward and we'll move the melee forward when it makes sense to do so. These guys can move up again a little bit because the enemies have stopped moving toward them. I'm not sure at all what this is. This doesn't make any sense. Alright, I'm going to try to use the Doom Flayers as a feint to draw their cavalry away. Or I'm just going to charge their archers with the Doom Flayers, maybe. Like, we gotta get there, we gotta get the attention of the Grail Guardians. We have to make them want to come over here. Because otherwise I'm never going to be able to attack the siege crews. Can't tell what the hell they're doing. Kinda looks like they're just gonna let me do stuff here. Like they're afraid to commit to anything at all. Can we draw them this way? Remember, we're slightly faster than they are. We're also very heavily armored, and these peasant bows are very poor weapons, so I'm not too worried about the damage, especially since most of these arrows are going to miss. They're not leading enough. Okay, we're kind of drawing some people off, but... And also, they've just walked into rattling range for no reason instead of stopping to shoot at us. You know, like people who want to kill the enemy with their bow. I think we've drawn off people enough. Let's give this another shot now. And actually, let's also have these guys move in. So they kept a unit of... Oh, they kept the Fey Enchantress herself back here, which is fine. That's not a big deal. Alright, you don't have to live for long, you just have to live for long enough. Okay, let's have the gunner teams fall back, and the relatively elite melee units move up and start doing stuff here. So these are just men-at-arms, these are not like terribly important units. We have an upgraded orb thingy here. Do I want to use that? Yeah, let's drop that like right here. It takes a second for it to spin up. This should give our weapons team time to fall back, I think. We want to make sure we're getting those guys. Form up like here-ish. Let's not get too crazy. And actually, you guys kind of don't even have to move that much. We should make sure that we're retargeting these guys, though. I want to make sure we're firing into... Where are their good units, anyway? Somewhere they have... Okay, a unit of Battle Pilgrims. I think maybe this is... that target. Are they going to be able to hit that? It looks like they have a line. And at this point, the melee troops should move up. It doesn't help us to be standing back any longer, I think. So just, yeah, do some of that. Alright, not afraid to use a Doom Rocket, but we may not have to, it looks like. Okay, that really could not have gone off any better. It gave us just enough time to pull back. And it's doing great damage. And we can throw out a quick Cracks Call here, because they have stopped their archer line to set up fire. So that should be pretty good for us. Holy crap, that actually completely obliterated those archers.
Assassin. More tails.
The Fey Enchantress is a legendary lord, but she's not a fighter. She's not like completely horrible at fighting, but she's a wizard. So we can probably have our assassin just run up and engage in direct combat with her without there being a lot of like huge consequences. Okay, apparently my units did not bother to do any attack. I kind of thought that I was not going to have to micro this so much, the Grail Guardians thing. I thought that my units would just be in the way, but apparently not. Alright, so the assassin is mostly a ranged unit, right? He wants to be at range? No, his okay, he's not the same as the assassin lord. He is totally a melee unit, yeah, so just get in there and smash. Okay. These rattling guns should be firing, but they're not. Pull them back a little bit. They actually might be necessary to help us run these guys off. Now let's rearrange a little bit here, because I want to make sure that we are not going to lose everybody to these Grail Knights. Try executing a very good backfield charge. We also have to make sure that we actually give these guys attack orders. Okay, we managed to hold them in place. Rattling guns should make short work of them then. Let's get the Doom Flayers out of there. How's this going? Okay, that's going to be the end of them pretty easily. And we may not really have a strong reason to apply a Doom Orb, or a Doom Rocket. Alright, the Storm Vermin are having trouble hacking up a peasant mob. Shouldn't be happening. They probably took a bunch of fire from other stuff, and now they're engaged with the peasant mob, is what's actually happening. Okay, so you guys are doing this thing. This is a problem. Not like a huge problem, but it is the next thing we got to deal with. We're very far from having Cracks Call available again. We might do a Scorch over there. Let's let the Warp Lightning fall. He's gonna have to move forward. Actually, maybe I'm not gonna cast anything for a second here. Let's try to build up to another Cracks Call, because that was very effective the first time. You guys should attack this peasant mob in the flank. They should break down pretty quickly. We really need the Doom Flayers to get out of there, because the Doom Flayers should be helping us control the archers. We have these guys very under control. And then we have some melee troops over here that I think are just going to be running forward. Like, for the most part, we can just let their spearmen fight our bad units, and it's not like a big deal. Okay, we broke the crew, siege crew, so now we have to figure out what exactly do we want to do with you guys. We probably want to just run directly at the archers, right? 2 different units of archers. There's few enough siege units left that even though they're not permanently broken, they probably can't actually participate in the battle anymore. If they turned around to come back to fight, if we got anyone near them ever, they would just immediately crumple. We can't overcharge. We can't overcast a Cracks Call, but you know what? Maybe a non-overcasted Cracks Call is totally fine here. Aim it like that. You see the Fey Enchantress doing her best to stay out of the melee. We might actually want to have Ikit Claw just run over there and get her personally. Let's let this spell go off first. Okay, when not overcast, it really does have a smaller effect. I'm going to have Ikit Claw help clean this stuff up. And we got more clan rat spawns. These guys will handle him. Okay. I think the archers are pretty much done for. The Grail Guardians are pretty much done for. It's looking pretty good. These are men-at-arms. They're a little bit tougher than the other things we've been fighting here. Just get a little bit of an assist on there. I am not concerned about men-at-arms fighting Ikit Claw. I think that's going to go real poorly for them. They have no idea what they're getting into here. Yep, he's just hurling them back off of him. Faye Enchantress thinks she's going to fight me. Okay, this part's almost resolved. It's a very small number of remaining archers. Can we get our Jezzail teams on the archers? It looks like we're having a hard time finding an angle. Okay, no, they just weren't firing because they didn't feel like it, apparently.
Core systems on.
Okay, he's doing a great job. No big surprise there. He's doing as much damage to the Fae Enchantress as she's doing to him, while he's also killing that unit of men-at-arms. Swap you over to here. You guys should turn around and get those ones. Okay. This is all going splendidly. We definitely don't need to use any concealment bombs. Alright, let's have these guys form up in a different spot. They definitely don't need to be shooting at those horses anymore. Oh wait, don't run! Now, unfortunately, these guys are not in march mode, right? So I don't think that we destroy the army. And we don't have a ton of movement. We don't have any movement left, so we might not be able to pursue them, but they can't really come back at us either. They've lost a lot of their most dangerous units. Like, their good melee units are pretty pulped. These guys survived alright. They just straight up do not have a Trebuchet or Grail Knights anymore. Their archers are in tatters. So even if we end our turn near them, they're not really in a position to come back at us or anything. I think we did see an army a little bit north, and we're going to have to look at them before we decide exactly where we're ending the turn, but I think we should be okay. Also, this should be a considerable amount of food and money. I'm a little bummed out about how much damage our Storm Vermin took. Because remember, those are the guys who won't retreat, so it's dangerous to go into battle with them in a weakened state. Because they'll just stand and die the first time they get into a fight. I am inclined to take the food. It's a shame. It's just barely not enough food to push us back up to the next tier of food meter, but we're probably going to have to do some more of this thing of turning food into charges. So this is such a tiny, tiny amount of healing. Yeah, I'm going to take the food.
Chief Warlock, Ikit Claw.
Okay, that's a great bonus. Got some basic gear. So what is this? This is a bunch of foot squires, which are definitely better. You can see they still only have 26 attack, 21 defense. They're not like amazing, but they're definitely a better class of melee unit. Let's continue to grab this stuff. Apparently he's going to be used in combat a lot now. We need to spend 2 points in the previous box before we get access to that stuff. Do I want the speed and the charge bonus? Probably fire and magic resistance is not what we're looking for. I'm going to take the health. Also, Faderrife, yeah, just more. Ooh, hold on. He can get venomous blades now. He actually already has poison from the weapon that we gave him. Yeah, let's not worry about it. Let's just take melee attack. Kill stuff faster. And then, as dangerous as it is to sit in March mode, I think we do want to go into March mode because I would like to end the turn on my side of the line here. Yeah, look at how much casualty replenishment rate we have now. So this is probably about the best spot for trying to underway move to Skavenblight next turn. I think we want to stay right here. This does mean that we're very vulnerable to attack. And her army's going to replenish considerably, but like the good units, the scary units are gone, and do not get replenished.
My lady will not allow it.
Never.
27 units. She's going to come at us.
Engineer of
Maybe what we need to do here is just fall all the way back.
Dare you?
No, it doesn't matter. We can't get far enough back for her not to be able to chase us no matter what we do. Okay. I'm not terribly concerned. I think we're going to be all right.
Must an assassin.
We have to decide whether we want to attack these guys because they didn't do anything on their turn.
Missions.
You know what? I don't usually do this, but I think we're going to call it right here in the middle of this turn because we have some decisions to make, and I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with them. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I may have overcommitted a tiny amount on the Bretonnian front. Come back next time tomorrow to see if we survive it, and also to see us take a whole lot more human heads. And we'll see you then.